All right, welcome to 5,000 Miles, where we review television and movies. Today we are taking a look at Always Sunny Season 17, Episode 3. And as we review it, I'll be throwing in some great clips from the show along the way. So I hope that everybody enjoys that. Gotta tell you, Vince, I thoroughly enjoyed the episode. How did you feel about it?
I was such a big fan of the episode last week, and then I didn't think that they were going to be able to top that, and then the episode this week blew me away.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
was it was so spicy.
yeah, it certainly was spicy, and we will get to whether or not it we feel like it was the strongest of the season so far. We'll talk about it at the end. Yeah, so here we get an episode where Dennis and Mac are pretending to be EMTs.
Buddy, getting a refund on those glasses and spending it on a decommissioned ambulance was the way to go.
The illegality of what we're doing is spicy enough to get me off.
Yeah.
Charlie's doing a little bear spoof cooking.
It's a good idea. All right, chili flakes, please.
Wait, what?
I need the chili flakes, please. See them?
Yeah, I see him.
Yes, chef.
What?
Say yes, chef.
Which he's done in the past with Frank. And
Which I love to see.
Yeah, and
I mean, I'm such a big fan of the show The Bear, and
Oh
so
God.
to see them acknowledge the bear and be doing like the yes chef thing and just throw in like they
Oh.
weren't making fun of the bear, but they were doing
No.
like a nice little homage to it, you
Yep.
know? You love to see that. Yeah, I one of the funny things about them referencing the bear was Charlie talking about this is life or death stuff.
The blood.
A lot of blood in my line of work too.
Well, there shouldn't be.
Yeah, but you get your banging. I got Frank once or twice.
There really shouldn't be.
It's life and death stuff.
Not really, though.
You know, it is for the animals, I guess.
Did
Right.
you think that was funny? Because I think they're kind of making a little bit of a joke at even though The Bear is like a show about chefs running a restaurant, the intensity of the show is like so high that you make it makes you feel like the stakes are so high, even though in the end it's just about them cooking. Did you
Yeah,
pick up on that?
Oh, 100%. It was great. That was kind of their way of being like, okay, we love the bear, but they do act like cooking is life or death. But then Charlie goes, well, it is life or death for the animals. So I
I
definitely
mean,
like
he's
that
got a
line.
point.
Yeah,
It is
so
life or death for the animals, especially he's sitting there cooking smash burgers. So
Always Sunny found the way to put their finger on what is actually life or death about cooking.
And also, the spicy peppers and the food actually was life or death for the guy that had the heart attack from the spicy pepper. They make the Carolina Reaper tea, which almost kills the lawyer as well. So in one way, Charlie's cooking was life or death.
Yeah, they're living on the edge. So last week we're talking about fucking Breaking Bad reference. Now we're talking about a bear reference. I think Always Sunny knows what the other great shows are on TV.
Oh yeah, because obviously Breaking Bad, one of the greatest shows of all time, and The Bear, very possibly the best show on TV right now.
I took the words right out of my mouth. I think it probably is.
Just
Um,
grabbed a bunch of Emmy nominations as well for this
yeah,
season.
yeah, big shocker there. So, all right, let's just get into some because there are a ton of throwback stuff. The first thing I'm going to mention, well, of course, Brandy's with us as always. But the first thing I'm going to mention to you, Vince, is you just go crazy when they give you a character from back in the day.
You never know with those guys.
Well, well, well.
The lawyer.
Right. Whenever like a character makes a return appearance, like that was originally going to be like a one-off character.
Yeah. So them sh
And
the
so
lawyer
this
showing
time
up
we have the lawyer. It was so good.
when they pull the curtain aside and the lawyer was there, I had to pause it because I got up and was like, yes, like so happy to see him again. But what's interesting now is that like the lawyer's gotten the best of them
Here's a
in the
question
past.
for you. Was the last time that we saw the lawyer when he got his eye pecked out in the court?
Yes, absolutely.
Because him wearing the eye patch is the direct reference to that episode.
Yes, that was the last time we saw him. So now he's turning into like Cricket, who has slowly but surely just like taking physical damage, and every time he shows back up, he's a little bit more physically hurt. So yeah, he got his eye pecked out, but but then
Because
he also got grease thrown in his face.
yeah, because having any sort of proximity to the gang is definitely bad for your health. I thought the whole joke about them microdosing like the hot peppers.
I like where your head's at, but I think really it's maybe a matter of dosage. Like, we shouldn't eat a whole pepper. I mean, we saw what happened to the jazz man. I'm thinking maybe microdosing is the way to go.
Microdose. Explain.
It was such a funny concept where it wasn't even like a plot point. It's just like, yeah, we're just gonna treat hot spicy peppers like something that you can microdose, like mushrooms or something like that, or they're treating it like a drug, like Coke or something like that.
Well, I think they wanted to like bring up micro dosing because it's like kind of a topical thing, and this was their way of doing it. And interestingly enough, they were just on Hot Ones.
It's a horrible thing to do to someone. It's a horrible thing to do to yourself. But it is also weirdly exhilarating.
I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
That makes a lot of sense too. That maybe they got hooked on the hot peppers.
yeah, not DeVito, just the three. Glenn, Rob, and Charlie were on, and not just it wasn't Hot Ones like the show. It was like the game show version of it, where it's like truth or hot pepper. So like they get asked a question that they wouldn't want to answer, and then they can either answer it or eat a hot pepper. So I thought that that was definitely the inspiration for this episode. At least that was my guess. And they were gangster about it too. Like at one point they were like, "This isn't hot enough. Get the hottest sauce out here." So if you didn't see that episode of those guys on that, check it out on YouTube. It was definitely amusing.
And I like the idea of them becoming EMTs. It was almost like a bringing out the dead parody. And of course, they're not going to actually become EMTs. They're just going to be unlicensed EMTs and get a decommissioned ambulance. And the idea of those dudes running around the streets, just like taking rogue ambulance calls, is
Yeah.
just hilarious to me.
All right, let's save this bitch.
Ma'am, I think what you got there is a sprain. You're gonna not want to put anything hot on it.
Or cold.
Nothing hot, nothing cold.
Yeah, lukewarm, really.
Ma'am, you're gonna want to keep that knee lukewarm.
And then
Well-
at the same time, we got Charlie doing the little like ghost kitchen and everything. And then the way that they weave those two stories together, where by the end, they're actually have the kitchen in the ambulance and they're like cooking the food as they're on their way to the delivery place. Just a brilliant concept and super funny.
No doubt. I mean, there's so many things that it makes me think about. Like, there was definitely a time where Dennis and Frank pretended to be cops, and Charlie did like a Serpico thing, and they had a
Yeah.
fate, and they were like hustling hot dog vendors out of hot dogs in cop uniforms. They've definitely pretended to be news reporters in the past, where they're going around and like trying to shoot, like faking as reporters. Like, there's a lot of like crossover from old episodes that it was making me think about funny stuff that's happened in the past.
Yeah, so it was cool to see them do another episode where they're just taking on like these rogue jobs, and D, of course, being part of the gig economy. And
Yep.
just riding her bike, and I love it's very Seinfeldian the way they weave all these different plots together.
When they're first, the very beginning, right? Where you see the D walks in, she's like, "What, is somebody dying?" Like all casually, like, "What, is somebody dying?"
One smash
It's
burger.
about time.
Okay. Ooh, somebody dying or something?
Random jazz man.
Really? Just wandered right in off the streets?
Yeah.
I remember an episode where they had a guy who was going to jump off the roof, and they were all very blasé about it as well. Like, "Oh, we got a guy up on the
Yeah,
roof."
they're
and
all very calloused when it comes to the idea of death, especially in and around the bar.
yeah, so they're just like, "Oh, is somebody dying? Oh, okay, whatever." Just wandered in off the streets out of nowhere. And I love when all of a sudden somebody chooses to have to be the straight man.
No reason?
We are an open, working bar.
And in this case, it's Rob going, "We do run a bar. Like,
It's like, we are an open bar.
we are
Like,
like
sometimes you forget because there's so much crazy stuff happening in the plot lines and everything. Sometimes you do forget that they are operating a bar. So yes, people should be walking in.
for sure." So I got a kick out of that. Then we go fast forward to the Dennis and Max sitting at the EMT training or whatever, right? And
Right.
we get a good reminder again that Max gay.
Speaking of spicy,
How's everyone doing?
things just got a little caliente.
Hello, class, and welcome.
Sometimes you forget, and then the cop walks in with the uniform, and he's getting the hots for the cop, right?
I thought it was funny because in real life, when you're doing CPR, they tell you to do it to the beat of the song "Staying Alive." It's hot, hot, staying
Yeah.
alive. And so they're doing it to Bamboleo by the Gypsy Kings.
Is everyone familiar with the Gypsy Kings' Bamboleo?
Ah, an excellent choice. Very spicy. Speaking of spice, I brought plenty of peppers for everyone.
So he's all hopped up on the hot peppers and he's like getting all spicy and doing the compressions like super fast. I think using the Gypsy Kings song in that was really funny, and then having it in the background as they're driving around in the ambulance. Was just super funny to hear them use that song.
Isn't that how they end the episode too? They like when the credits roll, that song plays.
Yeah.
I think, and and of course Dennis would be the one to have to be like, oh, you're not familiar with double time, because he's got to somehow make it sexual, you know? When they're at the EMT training and he's attracted to the guy, the gang's very used to being disruptive at something
Right.
of that nature. I remember them like fucking up a spin class at one point. They mess up a sexual harassment seminar. Like when they're seated, they can't sit on their hands and behave appropriately in any scenario. And this was that showing
Right.
up again. They have to just ruin it by being disruptive.
Couple things that I thought was really funny. First of all, I think the funniest part of the whole episode for me was when Danny DeVito goes to see the guy in the hospital that he like almost killed with the spicy pepper, and he's checking with the fork to see if he's cake.
Lifestyle. More than the pepper. Eh? Just checking about the cake thing.
He's poking
How great
at
was
him.
that? A direct reference to last week's episode where he was pretending to be in a coma, but he was actually cake the whole time.
Yeah.
And so he thinks that he's always making sure that it's not some elaborate like prank that they're playing on him where the guy would somehow be cake.
Yeah, and he said that. I think he said like, I wouldn't put anything past these guys. So he's like poking him with a plastic fork. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
absolutely great.
And then when the lawyer sees him, he's like, wait, you're lying to a guy in a coma? He's like,
You just admitted to causing this man grievous harm, and I am going to take you down.
I'm innocent.
You literally just admitted it.
I was lying.
To a man in a coma?
I thought he was cake.
That's right. That was great.
So what a great joke. And then I also thought it was really funny when we see them as the EMTs later on in the episode. They're talking to the lady on the curb with the messed up knee. He's like sniffing because he's got the hot pepper. He took a little bite of it.
Yeah.
And Dennis is just like, can I talk to you for a second? Are you eating? Did you eat some of the pepper? He's like, yeah, I just need a little bit. And then they're both eating the peppers. And it's like a direct reference to like people like being on the job, but like getting choked up because he's actually like sniffing.
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny. And he's like, all right, let me take a little dip, just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, just a little bit. They're totally
And
getting
then they're all hopped up on the peppers and trying to help the lady. And then because he's got the pepper oils on his thumb, he goes to hold her eye up and he gets the hot pepper stuff in her eye. So funny.
He's acting
I
crazy.
didn't hit my
Just
head.
lay back and
Ow! God! Ah! Oh, my eye is burning. Was there something on your thumb?
it's probably unrelated.
smears it in her eye. Laugh out loud moment for me might have been when the lawyer's got the eye patch and he falls over because his depth perception's off.
Your attorney, I would be begging for the same thing. But unfortunately for you, whew, I am not. My depth perception is terrible.
That is
That was a lot of great comedic like physical work from the lawyer guy where you just keep obviously he's not used to only having the one eye, and so he does keep like missing stuff and falling over. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, in the Gang Squashes the Beef episode, one of the McPoyles has an eye patch and the exact same thing. That's a direct reference to when the McPoyle fell over when he had an eye patch on from a depth perception thing, which was great. And in the same way that they had D call him a bozo.
He postmated I'm delivering.
Okay, I don't want any food delivered by any of you.
Oh, guess what, bozo? I don't care whether you eat it or not, but if you don't tip me, I'm taking out the other eye.
At one point, remember last week I was talking about jabroni?
Yeah.
Same thing with bozo. There's an episode where Mac's like, I'm bringing Bozo back. I'm bringing Bozo. Like, I'm calling people Bozo now. So it's still here in season 17 that they're like, just using that same term, getting a kick out of it.
You know what? Like, I didn't think they were going to be able to top last week, but this might be my number one episode of the season so far.
They went a little bit big budget here. Were you kind of surprised when they flat out crashed the ambulance for real?
I can't see! God damn it! God damn it!
That I was blown away to see something like that because it's like it was almost like a set piece from a major movie. There's like a head-on collision, a
Yeah.
crash, an explosion, and they flip over this ambulance. So it's like the budget on that episode must have been out of this world for just the show that they're doing. You know what I mean?
Max
Um,
got that
I I
Wrexham money.
I couldn't believe it, man. So
Yeah.
I really loved seeing that, and it's like, wow, they really put a lot into this episode because they could have got away without showing it or whatever. It just showed like a crash, but they're like, nah, we're gonna flip this ambulance over,
Yeah.
and then of course the best part is the payoff where they apparently all escaped and then put the lawyer in the EMT outfit.
I passed out. They must have put me in EMT uniform and then fled the scene.
Like, so great. This guy continues to get screwed over by the gang.
Well, he has gotten the best of them in the past. So this was
Yeah.
interesting to see them flat out get the best of him. I kind of dug that. And I guess he'll be incarcerated for 30 days or whatever it is, or in the court system. And I'm sure we'll hear from him again at some point. So the next time we
Yeah.
see him, I think he'll be all scarred up. It'll be interesting to see if they ever bring him back, like what physical shape he's in at that point. I'll let you go first for this week's segment. How many miles are you giving season 17, episode 3 out of 5,000?
Out of 5,000 miles, I'm going to give it 4,900 miles.
Woo! And I think that you're giving episode 3 the front runner now.
Yes, I think so. I mean, like, this is pretty much as perfect as an Always Sunny episode could be. You know, it's there's a lot of crazy hijinks. They got a lot of plot lines all converging together. They're hurting somebody. In this case, it's the lawyer. They got callbacks to other episodes. I mean, this episode just has it all.
I will go ahead and give it 4,800 miles out of 5,000 this week. You got it a little bit ahead
High
of me.
praise.
And I think I'm still gonna give episode 2 the edge. But man, we're talking about the difference of 100 miles here, Vince. It's 100 miles
Yeah.
is nothing.
100 miles is nothing.
Not when you're 5,000 miles away. One last thing to say for anybody who's stuck through to the end of the video here, any Philadelphia people. And for, we all know Rob's a huge Eagles fan. Shane Gillis, our guy, dude. Shane Gillis hosted the ESPYs last night. Philadelphia guy there, and the Philadelphia Eagles won. Best team in all of professional sports, not just professional sports. The best team in all of sports in 2025. They won the ESPY, and Shane Gillis was host. And we're talking about Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So Philly. There we go.
And, thank God for that, because winning the Super Bowl is one thing, but you haven't really made it as a team until you've won a fake made-up sports award to fill time on a sports cable network.
Yes, that is the pinnacle that all these athletes aspire toward.
All right, and let me do my Shane Gillis impression. All right, that's it.
I love Shane Gillis.
Go Birds!
Go Birds! So
Love